Assuming that you've all heard of the streaming service Netflix, I'm just going to jump right into the story. I don't use the service much anymore, and for pretty good reason. You see, I live in the UK, and there's not much to watch on UK Netflix in terms of TV shows in comparison to Canadian or back home US. I found out that there's a way to access a Netflix in countries by typing a DNS code manually into your device. After a short time searching around, I came across a website that included hundreds of DNS codes that users had uploaded from the Canadian and US Netflix. Jackpot, I thought to myself. Without a second thought in the world, I picked the first DNS code I saw and typed it into my Xbox settings. It didn't work. I tried code after code and no luck. What is the point of a website like this existing if none of the codes even work? I kept thinking. I kept scrolling and searching the site for codes, then diverting my eyes and hands to my Xbox to type in the code with no luck, until eventually I came across a code on the 12th page of the site. It was right at the bottom, and it was uploaded anonymously. I've already been searching for nearly 20 minutes and about to give up. I decided this would be my final attempt before I called it quits. I typed in the code, and to my surprise, it worked. My Xbox restarted, and no less than 2 minutes later, I was browsing the US Netflix. All the shows and movies I'd been dying to watch on Netflix, finally available to me. The next day, after a hard day of working, I came home, and the only thing I wanted to do was sit down and watch some Netflix. I turned on my Xbox, opened up Netflix, and I sat down. As I scrolled down to my watch list to finish off season 2 of Breaking Bad, I saw there was something else in my recently viewed list, something I don't remember watching. The title of it was 623-356-4242. And the image was just a red triangle, as opposed to a still of a movie or show like other stuff on Netflix. Curious as to what it was, I did something I will never stop regretting. I hovered over it and tapped the A button on my controller. At first, it was just the color red covering the screen, before the image of a Baphomet's head began to fade in the center of the screen, got bigger and bigger, until I jumped out of my seat as a large screeching noise blared out of my speakers. And images of mutilated bodies, animals being tortured, people being abused flashed across the screen. This went on for about 30 seconds, and the sound of screaming got more and more intense. And then, darkness. My Xbox turned off, as did all the lights and electricity in my house. I sat there in darkness, hauntingly dwelling on what I had just witnessed. I began to cry and try to hold down the vomit I could feel in my esophagus. After managing to pull myself together and stop the tears, I weakly stood up, venturing downstairs into my electronics cupboard. I managed to turn the power back on, and I ran upstairs to my Xbox. The Netflix app had been deleted from my hard drive. I later discovered that my DNS code had been switched back to automatic. I had no idea what the hell happened and how it happened. The worst thing was, there was nobody there to witness my ordeal. Who would even believe something like this? I know for sure I wouldn't. I searched for the website where I got the DNS code to report it and speak to a moderator, but it was gone. I searched Google, Bing, and even good old Yahoo. Nothing. I looked for hours, but it had disappeared. The site was gone. I decided it was a good idea to write about the horrible episode in the actual Netflix forum. So I made an account hastily and made a thread asking people if they'd experienced anything similar to what I had when entering a manual DNS, without detailing everything I had saw in the video. I refreshed the page to see if anyone had replied, only to get an error 404, saying the page did not exist. My thread had been deleted within a few minutes. This was all unsettling, but not as unsettling as the main thing. The main thing that sends shivers down my spine. Something it took me weeks after the experience to realize. The title of the show, 623-356-4242, it was my IP address.